Now, how do we find the reality of that? Well, again, is that still up? Oh, good. Here he tells us right here. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. Look, how? How does that metamorphosis take place? By the renewing of your mind. Well, what does that mean? Think different. Think differently. About what? About you. Think differently about who you are. Who am I? Well, I'm not just an individual physical person. Because I'm a Christian, now I'm somebody new by virtue of my relationship to Christ. Well, who am I by virtue of my relationship with Christ? Well, I've lost my life and I've got His life. Did you know that's why Paul said, I was crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I. Remember that? Yet not I. It's not even me anymore. Who is it? It's Christ that lives in me. Now that's pretty powerful. That's pretty bold, But that's why he says, renew your mind to that. What would happen if that really took root in you? If you really believed, this is really true. Jesus lives in me. Well, you would start experiencing that reality in your life. I read a book about a man named, actually it's a book of his sermons, John G. Lake. I don't know if you've ever heard of him or not. He was a preacher about 100 years ago in the last century, and he was a missionary to South Africa. And I read in that book something that really stuck with me, that in the morning before he would go out and minister, he'd get all dressed in his nice clothes, his ministering clothes, and his suit and his tie and his nice outfit. And before he would go out and try to minister to people and preach or do any of his ministry, he would stand before a full-length mirror. And he'd stand up real straight and tall, and he'd look at himself. Now look, when you look in the mirror, probably you're not going to see anybody but you. Right? I hope when I look in the mirror, I'm not seeing anybody. That would really weird me out if I looked and saw somebody else. It's you. It's you in the mirror. It's not someone else. And he looked at himself in the mirror, and why did he do that? He looked at himself in the mirror and he said, God dwells in that man. Why did he do that? To remind him, to renew his mind on a daily basis, that I'm not going out here as John G. Lake trying to help people, because I, as John G. Lake, have nothing to give anybody. But God dwells in this man, and God has got something for them. And see, it wouldn't hurt us we're not John G. Lake, and we're not missionaries to South Africa. But what do you do in your life? Well, whatever it is that you do in your life, Christ will walk with you. He'll work with you. He'll live with you in your life. And I think the reality is, He doesn't want a bunch of preachers. I think there's enough preachers. I think He wants ordinary people. I think He wants to just infiltrate the whole world, just through ordinary people in their ordinary lives, but let Christ be living in them. Okay, let's all stand up today. You're good, patient listeners. Thank you for that.
Jesus is my